This is a Pubcast Shot. I'm John Loomer. So when are results meaningful? Let's go. On the last episode, I talked about letting results be your guide when it comes to making changes to your advertising. Now, when I get questions like, how often should I update creative? Or should I restrict by age or gender? Or should I use lookalike audiences or go broad? And on and on and on. Don't rely on advice that attempts to frame an approach based on universal truths. Don't assume you should do one thing or another. Let results be your guide. Your results that are unique to you. If you're getting great results, don't mess with it. If you're no longer getting good results, it's probably time to make a change. But it's important we apply a caveat here. When you let results be your guide and make changes based on them, those results need to actually be meaningful in the first place. Here's what I mean. Number one, the volume of results needs to be meaningful. I see this far too often. An advertiser is running ads for a few days or a week at a modest budget, optimizing for a purchase. They have separate ad sets for Advantage Plus Audience and lookalike audiences. They get 10 purchases using Advantage Plus Audience and 15 from lookalike audiences. They then declare that lookalike audiences work better than Advantage Plus Audience and turn off one of the ad sets. Now, ignore for a moment the fact that the algorithm likely reached many of the same types of people in either case here. The volume of results is not meaningful to learn anything definitive. And if you're thinking that an A/B split test would fix that, I have an example for you. I once ran a split test of 3 identical ad sets that highlights this problem. Meta declared that one ad set was a clear winner, generating 25% more conversions than one of the other ad sets. But since everything about the ad sets and the ads within them was identical, we know these results were random. We couldn't say it was because of the targeting or optimization or copy or the creative, but we make decisions like this based on 25% differences all the time. We assume performance differences are caused by the differences in targeting or creative, but that may not be the case. It could be correlation, not causation. Now, at some point, the number is meaningful, but where does that happen? Instead of giving you a definitive number, I'd look at stability and predictability of your results from day to day and week to week. Can your interpretation of results change based on a single day of results? So, for example, when we were talking about the situation where there were 10 and 15 conversions based on ad set, based on targeting, a single day could completely transform your interpretation. So make sure that volume of results is meaningful. Number 2, what you focus on needs to be meaningful. Some advertisers are overly focused on metrics like click-through rate, cost per click, CPM, and honestly, several others. These metrics should not be your foundation for how you judge performance. You shouldn't stop an ad set or choose an ad based on any of these secondary metrics. While they help tell a story, they aren't your bottom line. Your focus should be on the cost per action, which is hopefully a conversion of some kind. And it might also be on return on ad spend. But click-through rate, for example, isn't predictive of either of these metrics. You can get a high CTR that doesn't lead to conversions. You might also get a lower CTR that sends qualified traffic that is more likely to convert. The same is true of focusing too much on CPM. So focus on results based on meaningful metrics when making decisions. Number 3, the quality of results needs to be meaningful. So let's assume you're comparing 2 ads when optimizing for leads. we get meaningful volume to make a judgment of performance. Ad A generates 1,000 leads, and ad B generates 800 while spending the same amount overall. Since ad A generated more leads, do we declare it the winner and turn off ad B? Not necessarily. Quality matters too. Maybe ad A was more persuasive than ad B, which led to more leads. But ad B did a better job of attracting the right people, which resulted in more qualified leads than ad A. You could actually run into similar issues with ads optimized for a purchase. One could generate more sales at a lower cost per purchase, but the other might generate a higher return on ad spend, so more value per purchase. So make sure that the quality, not just the quantity of your results, is also meaningful. Number 4, the incrementality of results needs to be meaningful. So sometimes our results can be misleading, especially when running ads for a sale. You have one ad set using remarketing with a crazy 20x return on ad spend, and another going broad that is 4x, a bit more modest. Is the remarketing ad set more effective? Not necessarily, because incrementality is important. In other words, how many of your conversions wouldn't have happened if people hadn't seen your ad? While you can make the argument that your ads influence the conversion with remarketing, there are times when this isn't the case. Some of those view-through conversions are completely worthless. And even if you focus on click-through conversions, there are some cases where your ads may not have been required to get the conversion at all. This isn't to say that remarketing makes no impact at all, but be very skeptical of your results. Don't make decisions based on the surface level reporting because those numbers are not meaningful. If you have incremental attribution, which is rolling out now, focus there or on one-day click when comparing performance. So here's the bottom of the glass. Here's what I want you to walk away with. It's very easy to fall into the trap of making bad decisions based on results that simply are not meaningful. Make sure the volume of results is meaningful. The metrics you make decisions on are meaningful. The quality of results is meaningful. And the incrementality is meaningful. Truthfully, some or all of these things are rarely meaningful when advertisers make judgments about performance, especially the typical advertiser who doesn't spend enough money or creates too much complexity and then obsesses over things like copy and creative variations when the volume simply isn't there. Focus on meaningful results. Create less complexity to help generate meaningful results. And don't obsess over the small stuff that simply doesn't mean much. I have written well over 1,000 blog posts over the years for johnloomer.com on the topic of Facebook, now Meta advertising. And this includes anything from tutorials to new feature announcements to case studies and tests and experiments and a little bit of everything in between. To be honest with you, my blog, is what I became famous for. It's why I have a business in the first place. Now, while not everybody consumes content in this way, especially a detailed tutorial, which is kind of my expertise, maybe you do. And I hope you're following me there. I publish one blog post every week right now. I've changed my cadence through the years, but that's where I'm falling these days so that I can also do podcast episodes and videos as well. You may not be alerted right now once I've published a new blog post, but we can change that. Just go to johnloomer.com/alerts. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, do awesome things. I'm out.